Welcome to Coaching Peeps. Let's talk about lipids today. Starting with the definition of a lipid. A lipid is a group of heterogeneous compounds related which have a fatty nature and are insoluble in water but soluble in non-polar solvents. Let's look at the characteristics of lipids. 1. They are liquid at room temperature. 2. They have high energy value due to the fats they contain. 3. Examples are waxes, oils, fats, and so on. 4. They are insoluble in water but soluble in non-polar solvents. Examples of non-polar solvents are benzene, chloroform, etc. Let's look at the classification of lipids. They are divided into two: three broad classes and four broad classes. Okay, looking at the three broad classes, they consist of the simple, the complex, and the derived lipids. The simple lipids are esters of fatty acids with various alcohol, and they are subdivided into two: fats and waxes. Fats are esters of fatty acids with glycerol. A fat in its liquid state is called an oil. Waxes are esters of fatty acids with higher molecular weight monohydric alcohols. Moving on, complex lipids are esters of fatty acids containing other groups plus an alcohol and a fatty acid. Okay, let's look at the subdivision. We have the phospholipids, glycolipids, and others. The phospholipids are lipids with fatty acids, alcohol, and phosphoric acid residue. They are subdivided into two, depending on the nature or type of the alcohol. We have the glycerol phospholipids. The alcohol is glycerol. We have the sphingospholipids. The alcohol is sphingosine. The second type of complex lipids is the glycolipids, and there are lipids with fatty acid, sphingosine, and a carbohydrate. Let's take a look at others. Others include sulfolipids, aminolipids, and lipoproteins. Okay, moving on to derived lipids. Derived lipids include fatty acid, glycerol, steroids, sterols, fatty aldehydes, ketone bodies, hydrocarbons, lipids, soluble vitamins, and hormones. Moving over to the second classification, which is the four broad class, we have the simple, complex, derived, and miscellaneous. Under the simple lipids, these are esters of fatty acids. Examples: fats and waxes. Fats are esters of fatty acid with glycerol, while waxes are esters of fatty acids with monohydroxyl aliphatic alcohols. Examples include true waxes, which are esters of cetyl alcohol or other higher fatty acids or other higher straight chain alcohols with stearic acid and palmitic acid. We have the cholesterol ester, which are esters of cholesterol with fatty acids. We have the vitamin A esters, which are esters of vitamin A with stearic acid. Now, the second, which is the compound lipids or complex, these are esters of alcohol with fatty acids plus other groups. Examples include phospholipids, which contain fatty acid, glycerol, phosphoric acid, and in most cases, a nitrogenous base. Okay, we have the glycolipids, which contains both the carbohydrates and nitrogen base, but not the phosphate or glycerol. We also have the phospholipids, which contains sulfate groups, and the lipoprotein, which contains lipids and proteins complexes. We also have the lipopolysaccharides, which contains lipids and polysaccharides. That is polysaccharide complexes. Moving on to the third, we have derived lipids, which are derived by hydrolysis. Example: fatty acids could be saturated and unsaturated. We have monoisoglycerol and diacylglycerol. We have glycerol, steroids, and other steroids could be vitamin A, and fatty aldehydes. And we also have protein lipids gotten from lipoproteins. Okay, moving to the miscellaneous lipids, we have hydrocarbons, swelling, etc. Okay, please take note that classification of lipids based on carbon backbone structure is divided into two: simple lipids and complex lipids. Okay, simple lipids can't be saponified, while complex lipids can be saponified. Okay, some examples of simple lipids: we have steroids, terpenes, and so on. Examples of complex lipids, we have waxes, acylglycerol, phosphoglycerol, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go over to the sources of lipids. So we all know that lipids can be obtained from fats, oils, and waxes. Okay, but let's talk about waxes. Waxes include wool fats, camembert wax, beeswax, and sperm oil. Let's look at the uses. The first one is used for ointment or cosmetics, and it's gotten from wool fibers. The second one is a plant wax used for the manufacturing of polish. The third one is the ester of methylic alcohol, and the fourth one is the oil from the head of a sperm of a whale. Okay, let's briefly look at the physical properties of lipids. I'm just going to mention four. Okay, one, it has an unpleasant odor or taste when aging, and this is called rancidity. Two, a decrease in melting point leads to an increase in unsaturation and vice versa. Three, their degree of unsaturation depends on iodine number. Four, they are insoluble in water except acetic acid. Okay, let's look at the chemical properties of lipids. We have esterification, reaction, and here's the equation. Please try and learn the equation. We also have the formation of salts with sodium oxide or potassium oxide, and here's the equation below. In our next video, I'm going to explain the equations. We also have the cis and trans isomerism. We have the hydrogenation of saturated fatty acids. Here are some things you should know. Please know the differences between fats and oils, and also know the chemical equations for each chemical property, even though I'm going to discuss them in our next class, okay? In our next video. So here are some questions to test your knowledge. One, list and explain the four broad classes of lipids. Two, what do you understand by cholesterol esters? Three, define lipids briefly. Four, write four physical properties of lipids. And five, with equations each, write four chemical properties of lipids. Okay, I'm sorry about the video lagging at the beginning, and maybe in our next class I'll use a tree diagram to help all of us to recall lipids, because I know lipids can be very confusing. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, thank you.